All right, thanks for joining us for today's webinar. Today's webinar is going to cover retargeting. This is how you can recapture visitors to your site, people that have already been to your site. You can then show them ads on other sites. So today's topics are going to be the basics of retargeting, tracking visitors, creating campaigns, and then advanced retargeting.
All right, so let's get started. My name is Greg. I'll be assisting Joe with this presentation today. So let's just go over the basics of what retargeting actually is. So this is a form of display advertising. It allows you to show ads to previous visitors of your website. Now these ads can appear on Facebook or in banner spots on regular websites. Now this requires a tracking pixel, and JavaScript is added to the pages of your website in order to make this happen. So this is just a really great way to have your advertisements track visitors all around the internet, and whenever they're ready to purchase, it's your company, your brand or whatever is going to be fresh in their mind because they've seen your ad pop up in more than one place.
So basically, if you've ever looked at an item like on Amazon or maybe eBay, and then next thing you're on Facebook or you're on some other website and you see an ad for that specific product that you were just viewing. That's what retargeting is. And there's a lot of strength in retargeting to recapture visitors that maybe have seen certain things on your pages. And then a tracking pixel, that's just a common term for a line of JavaScript code that will be on your site. It just simply puts a cookie, what's called a cookie, in the visitor's browser. And that's what's going to identify that user when they go to other sites so they can see your ad. So those are some of the terms we'll be talking about a lot, so keep those in mind. Why use retargeting? Retargeting makes your brand look bigger. If somebody is on your site and then next thing you know, everywhere they go on the web, they're seeing ads for your site, it just kind of creates the perception that, wow, this is a big brand, or it also lets you encourage customers to be brand ambassadors. You can use retargeting like on Facebook to have encourage likes, to encourage people to share posts and things like that. It helps you to recover lost sales and abandoned shopping carts. So if somebody was on your page and let's say they were going to buy a t-shirt from your website, but then for some reason they got to that last page where all they had to do was click buy, put in their credit card information, but for some reason they just closed the browser and they didn't buy, you can actually track people that were on that specific URL one step away from buying and just serve those ads to them to try to recapture them. It also allows you to put ads directly where people will see them, because anywhere they go on the web, there's so many websites that are serving up retargeting ads that essentially, if somebody's been to your site and now you're tracking them and you're retargeting them, they're going to see these ads to them. And it can also be much cheaper than PPC because you can target more effectively. You're not with PPC, you're just kind of casting a wide net out there trying to capture any user. With retargeting, you're capturing people that are familiar with their site. They're much more likely to buy something if they're going to, come back to your site through one of your ads that way.
Right. So let's talk about retargeting with AdRoll. So AdRoll is a website that you can go to, and you can use this for setting up a lot of your campaigns. So for general purpose retargeting, this is what you want to use. Now, AdRoll ads can appear on both Facebook and regular websites with banners. Now, you'll need to add the AdRoll pixel to your pages to begin tracking visitors. Then after that, create ad campaigns that target all or just a subset of your visitors.
And retargeting with Facebook, it uses a tracking pixel similar to AdRoll, but they are separate tracking pixels. So keep that in mind. You would have to have both installed if you're running Facebook-specific ads versus AdRoll. Just so you know, you can retarget on Facebook using AdRoll. You just get more control, a lot more options of how your ads display when people see them on Facebook if you use Facebook's advertising platform directly. You just way more flexible that way. This is great for promoting, if you're using Facebook, it's great for promoting a mobile app or even, specific products on your page, or even just your Facebook page. If you're just trying to get more likes, more shares on your Facebook page, you can promote your Facebook page through Facebook's retargeting. And this also allows for advanced targeting. You can target people specifically by their email address. So, if you've already had 5,000 people purchase something off your website and you have all of their email addresses, you can dump their email addresses into your Facebook retargeting account. And then any of those email addresses with valid Facebook accounts, you can send ads directly to those people.
So what happens if you're not ready to retarget? Well, there's a few things that you should do. The first that we recommend doing is just adding the tracking pixel to your site right now anyways, because it's free to use. You can just start building your visitors list immediately. Obviously that's something in that you can, get started with right away. Now, some networks out there are going to have a minimum of 1,000 visitors. So just keep that in mind as you're setting all this up. Now, like Joe was saying before, this is cheaper than PPC to do. So it's a really great way to capture some people that just may not be ready to purchase at that given moment when they're on their site. Focusing on getting these people back to your website to make another purchase. I feel like that's a much better way of spending your budget on advertising.
All right, so now we're going to kind of get into actually setting up a retargeting campaign. Again, the first thing you need to do is add a tracking pixel. We're going to link to any instructions that are available on the web to this webinar. So we'll post this webinar, it usually about a couple hours after we're done with it, it'll get posted online. And any links to any products or any instructions that we cover will be included on that page. So we'll make it very, very simple for you. But adding a tracking pixel, it's simply a line of JavaScript. Anybody can do this. You just simply paste this into your pages. Again, there's specific tracking pixel for an ad roll account or a Facebook account, and there's several other different companies that handle retargeting leads. We just strongly recommend ad roll because it's so easy to use, great interface. So we're big proponents of ad roll here. If you have a CMS like a WordPress or a Joomla site, something like that, it's very simple you just simply add this tracking pixel to either the header or the footer of your site, and then that'll just add it to every page for you. So very simple. There's also a plugin for WordPress. If you're a WordPress user, there's a plugin called Insert Headers and Footers. Using that plugin, you can just then go into the settings, simply copy and paste your tracking pixel into either the header or footer, and again, it's just on your whole site already. And again, all links to any of this stuff, including that plugin, will be at the bottom of this webinar once we post it online.
Okay, so let's talk about segmenting your users. All right, so let's first talk about what it is, and then we'll give an example of how it applies to a real life everyday situation. So what segmenting is it's grouping your users based upon pages that they have viewed. Now think of creative ways to organize your users and target these people with ads. So people who visit the checkout page but not the thank you page are perfect people to target with a comeback discount. Obviously they're interested in purchasing because they were at the checkout page, but they didn't actually follow through with the sale. So you can always go back and try to get them back to your site with a comeback discount of like 20% or something like that. Now, an example of how to work segmenting into your real life website. Now, this would be if pretend you have a website and you guys sell band t-shirts. Well, a way to just segment a specific group of people are people that come to your page for the Radiohead shirts or something like that. Well, obviously that they're interested in this band and they're interested in the shirts for this band. So you might want to follow these Radiohead fans around on the internet, and you see them visit a forum or something like that, and maybe you place a retargeting ad on that forum for bands or something like that. So that's just an example of targeting a really specific segment of your users and just making sure that they can come back, and maybe you can position some sort of discount or some other coupon in front of them to get them come back to your website. But it's just a really great way to capitalize on people who are just maybe not interested in purchasing at that specific moment, but that later on they will be.
Yeah, and the basics of it, you're just basically specifying a URL of your site. So if you have a page that's, your domain slash t-shirts, somebody that's been to that page, you can now segment the users, that anybody that's viewed that page, you can target them with a specific ad because they've been to that page. So that's what segmenting is
Right.
all about. If you're tracking conversions, this is very important for any kind of online marketing campaign. Tracking conversions means, if you're not familiar with the term conversion is when somebody has completed the goal. So if you're selling something on your site, and when people check out, it automatically sends them to a thank you page, thank you for your purchase kind of thing. Basically, anybody who's then been to that thank you page is a conversion. So that's kind of one way you can track your conversions there. Um, and the purpose for retargeting, you can use your conversions to exclude people from your targeting segments. So anybody that's been to that thank you page, you wouldn't want to show them that comeback discount that Greg was discussing, because they've already bought. So this is kind of how you can, just laser target your campaigns by excluding people that have already bought, that you're not trying to retarget. Or the people that have already bought, if you've got a new product, now you can target them with an ad on, hey, come back, buy this new product, kind of thing. Other things that conversions could be considered: if somebody signed up for a newsletter, once they've clicked that sign up button, you can now segment them into a newsletter sign up segment. Anybody submitted a form, or gone on your website, if you have a contact form and they've inquired about a sale or something like that, all these different things can be segmented with retargeting. Essentially, any unique page view can be marked as a conversion. So so that thank you page, you mark that as a conversion page. It's kind of up to you how you're setting that. If you've decided which page of your site means that that user has converted a certain goal, that's it. And you just simply hit a checkbox in your retargeting campaign that says anybody that's been to this page is a conversion. And now you can kind of cross check that list versus your segments, and make sure that you're kind of weeding people out that you don't need to be. This is how you save money throughout a retargeting campaign.
All right. So, how do you create an ad campaign? Now that you have all your users tracked and grouped into segments based upon their activity, now you can show them ads. So this is the fun stuff right here. So create a new campaign in Facebook or AdRoll, and then select the users that you want to show ads to. Now, whatever you do, don't forget to exclude people or the segments that shouldn't see the ad. So maybe this is the people who got all the way to the thank you page, and they're the people that purchased something. Well, obviously these people would not need some sort of comeback discount to come back to your site. So just make sure that you leave them out of the retargeting campaign.
And use compelling banner ads. Most retargeting campaigns, it's actual display ads or banner ads. So you can make very, very specific ads for each of your segments. So if somebody was on a blue t-shirt page of your website and they didn't buy, you can then retarget them with, hey, buy this blue t-shirt that you wanted. Something like that. That's kind of a crude example, but that's what it is. Use a custom ad that speaks to the visitor based on their activity on your own site. A product photo of the item you want to remind the user about. Again, the blue t-shirt. If they've seen that page of your site, show them that again. And again, this is why retargeting is so effective, because if somebody's going to click on that ad and come back to your site, there's a much higher chance that they're going to buy, versus a PPC campaign where maybe they're out searching the web and they just come to your site to check it out real quick. These people should already be familiar with your website. So getting them back to your website, much higher chance that they're going to convert into a sale. Keep your banner ads simple too. Don't put click here or too many buttons or too much text. Keep it just very, very simple, very, very targeted. Also, Facebook will reject an ad if there's too much text on the image. I believe you're allowed about 20% of the image can be covered. And Facebook does have a tool that will describe or will check your images to make sure that they're okay. Again, we'll link to all that kind of stuff at the bottom of the webinar.
Well, why don't you continue talking about the Facebook ads and
so
some other things that
ads on Facebook. Facebook ads can also include descriptive text outside the ad. So if you've probably seen, if you're on Facebook, you've probably seen millions of ads thrown at you. There's usually a picture of something there, and then there can be a headline above it, a display URL below it that'll show you, exactly which page you're going to, and a little descriptive text there. You want to make sure you have a call to action. So, in your description there, make sure that, call to action is always important in any kind of online advertising campaign. Just kind of direct your users what you want them to do when they see that ad. You can also use Facebook, just, comment and share stuff on your news feed. So if somebody's, this is again where the segment of people that have bought something on your site, if they actually bought that blue t-shirt, you can retarget them with an ad that says, hey, do you love your t-shirt? Tell 5 friends, about the t-shirt that you got, or share this page, or, something like that. So that's kind of some of the different things you can do with Facebook.
All right, so ad specific landing pages. Don't just put people who click on your ad back to your homepage. Obviously, you want to send them to something a little bit more specific than that. So in our recommendation, it's really good to set up a specific landing page that should kind of be set up after you've set up the ad. So the page needs to highlight or remind them of the product that you wanted to guide them to, or talk to them some more about. So this would be if you had some sort of coupon deal or coupon or something like that. This is where you would go ahead and explain the offer that they saw on the internet, so that there's no more confusion on why they're actually back. Now, this is something that you want to keep very simple. You don't want to overdo it with way too much information, but you want to kind of allow the users to reacclimate themselves with their website. So with your website, so don't just give them way too much information up front, but allow them to sort of ease into it, find what they're looking for, and get familiar with your website again. So landing pages that don't evoke any familiarity with your website, this is going to reduce the overall effectiveness of your campaign. So just make sure that the branding is the same on the landing page as it is on the other pages of your website. And again, just remind that user of actually why they're back, whether it's the purchase that they didn't place before, or some sort of special offer. Just make sure that information is right there up front.
Yeah, just a slight expansion on that. So if somebody was on a specific page of your site and that's who you're retargeting, if they're on a specific product of your site, the blue t-shirts, if they're on the blue t-shirt page and they didn't convert, when you get them back there, get them right back to that page. Don't, make sure that they're familiar with the site. As with a PPC campaign, all you want that user to be able to do is buy that blue t-shirt. You want very little else for them to be able to click on the site. With retargeting, you want to, again, Greg went over this pretty well, make sure they're familiar with your website. The same kind of navigation elements, things like that. So then watch your campaign. Once you have a campaign going, keep an eye on it. This is so are you getting a proper click-through rate? Or make sure you're not spending too much money on bad clicks. If you see that you've got an ad out there that just isn't converting into sales, maybe, how do I readjust this ad? Or get rid of it altogether? You always want to A/B test your ads too. So within a segment, maybe show 50% of that segment one version of an ad and 50% another. It can be as simple as just readjusting where a line of text in the ad is, and see which one converts better, which one creates more sales. You should always, in any kind of advertising campaign, always A/B test different ad types to see which one works better. And then make sure your targeting isn't too broad. Create multiple campaigns targeting different subsets of users. And also make sure it's not too narrow. Don't waste time trying to target tiny segments of users. Instead, think of broad swaths of visitors.
All right, so advanced retargeting. Let's just go over some of this really quick. And this will be our last slide. After this, we're going to take some questions from you on anything that we went over today. Now, advanced retargeting, this is where you can create a custom audience on Facebook from a CSV or a spreadsheet file of your users' email addresses. So this would be great if you could go through, you could find a list of the people that regularly open or click on your newsletter, and these are the kind of people that you want to target with a, like our page ad or something like that, because that people that open and click in your newsletter every single week, chances are these kind of people are going to be totally okay with liking your page on Facebook or something like that. So that's the kind of ad that you want to send towards them. Now, export a list of past customers' emails and ask them to review your product. So this is another kind of custom ad that you can do is just find all the people that used to use your service or that still do, and you maybe haven't been in touch with them for a while. Yeah, and just ask them to review your product. It's a great opportunity right there. Now, combine the audience of visitors to your site with Facebook's demographic targeting. So, for example, you show only ads to visitors of your site who are also interested in, that are also a part of a particular geographic area. Or alternatively, you could tune your ad graphic to the viewer and try different ads for women versus men, or young versus old, teens versus 30-year-olds, something like that.
Yeah, and with demographics in Facebook, obviously, if you are a clothing store, again back to the blue T-shirt, if that's a men's T-shirt, you only want to target that ad to men. If it's a women's T-shirt, you only want to target to women. So you can get really, really advanced into the segments. If you only want to target, if you think the most likely to convert demographic is women in their 30s, from affluent households, you can only target that specific demographic with your ad. So you can get really, really hyper targeted, and that's what makes retargeting so great. It's why it's such a good platform. Because you can keep your costs low by targeting only the very, very specific people that you believe will buy your products or that are in the market for your products, versus PPC, AdWords kind of thing. You're kind of using to attract new visitors, and this is obviously you're just retargeting people that have been to your site, whether they've bought or not bought. And you can divide up your ads between people that have bought. You can show them, hey, we've got these new products you might be interested, or people that didn't buy. You can say, hey, come back and we'll give you 10% off. So that's kind of an overview of retargeting. We're going to get into some more things in other webinars that will kind of explain how you kind of like, if you're looking for a total marketing campaign for your website, how do you divvy up where you spend what money, kind of thing. So if we've got any questions, please feel free to type them in.
Send us your questions in the chat box, please, and we will address them one by one as we get them.
Oops. Okay, we've got a question here asking, can you use a retargeting campaign without visitors to your site? And the answer to that is no. You actually, if you don't have any traffic to your site, retargeting isn't where you want to start. This isn't a starting point for generating traffic. This is retargeting existing traffic.
If you don't have if you don't have traffic yet for your website, then that's probably the first thing that you should address. There's a few different ways that we can help you go about getting traffic for your website. So, we don't want to get into, the basics of SEO all over again. But if you do have any questions on that, obviously we are a company that specializes in managed SEO. So getting traffic for your website is something that we are very good at. So just feel free to reach out to us and we'll give you a customized game plan for that. I think that's it. Yeah,
I think that's going to be all the questions we have there. Thanks for joining us today. We do appreciate it. We are going to have more webinars on increasing sales, the different ways you can, use, we're going to go over social media a little bit. We've already done PPC and retargeting, and then we're going to do one that's kind of like a combined strategy. How do you properly strategize? If you're just starting from the beginning, how do you do that? Feel free to reach out and contact us. And thanks for joining us today.
Have a great day. Bye.